Hello, my name is M. Today we're doing a tag for the first time on YouTube ever. It is the Authortube Newbie tag, even though I don't really consider myself an Authortuber, really, because I just do weird artsy creative stuff and short films and stuff. Like, that's what I want to do on YouTube. I'm not a writing tip Authortuber. But anyway, Authortube tag. Question number 1. How did you find Authortube? I've actually been an internet lurker for my entire life. Well, from the moment I learned that the internet was a thing. And like the first time I used the internet was when I was 8 or 9. But when I was 12 or 13, I started watching videos on YouTube religiously. And that was also when I started finding people who wrote on YouTube. And there weren't many people doing that. But it grew, and so I don't know how I learned that Authortube was a thing, because I found Authortube before it was called Authortube. So I've pretty much been here forever, lurking. What genres do you write in? I used to write a lot of science fiction, sort of zombie apocalypse stories, but nowadays it's mainly fantasy. Only fantasy. However, I also write screenplays because I am a screenwriter as well, and when I write screenplays they are kind of more like contemporary with fancy whimsical elements, but not like epic fantasy stories that I like to write like in novel format. Question number 3. What is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of story? My preferred writing tense is past tense. I also like present tense, it depends on the story, but for fantasy it is usually past tense that like it's the most commonly used one. And also third person point of view. Usually, I have so many characters in my story that third person is the easiest, so I don't have to jump inside of people's heads so much. In category of story, meaning YA, NA, children's, all that stuff, I write new adult. Question number 4. Plotter, pantser, or plantser? I would say I'm a plantser, because I like to plot everything carefully, but then I deviate from those plans a lot. I like to have a clear idea of what I'm going to write before I write it, but then as I write it, I get like different ideas, and things that work better, I write that instead. So I'm not like a plotter who plots and then writes exactly everything that I plot, but I do plot. I like to know what I'm doing before I try to do it, and then I change everything. Question number 5. Are you self-published, published, or yet to be published? I am kind of published. Kind of self-published. I can't afford an editor, so I'm a poor film student, alright? So I'm saving up money, but it's going very slow. Right now I'm publishing my novel as a web novel on a website, and I have a little donate button. So far, I think I've made like 13 euros? 14 euros? I'm rich. So it's a very slow process, but I hope that one day I will be able to afford an editor, and then I can have an editor, and then I can self-publish, because self-publishing is really my dream. I like to do everything. I like design, I like formatting, I like all of that stuff. Maybe not the money, math, business side as much, but I want all the creative freedom in the world. Okay, I need it. But going the traditional route would also be interesting, and so I'm keeping my future open to everything. Right now, it is what it is. I'm a poor student. I can't afford an editor, and I don't think it's realistic for me to take a loan just to edit a book, and I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I hope that I can afford it one day. And just because you can't afford to self-publish right now doesn't mean that you have to go the traditional route, because you have no other way to go. There is not just one way that works for everybody. Question number 6. What publishing company, literary agent, and or printing company are you represented by or use? If you are not yet published, what is your dream publishing house and or literary agent? Like I said, I want to be self-published and maybe traditionally published in the future, but right now it's a web novel, so I am my own publisher. Question number 7. What Authortube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? Writing tips occasionally, but mostly just random things. Random rambles and projects that I'm working on, because I am going to film school and I am a filmmaker, also an artist. I like doing everything, basically. I am a do-it-all kind of gal. So really, if you have questions about anything, you can just ask me and I'll do whatever I can. Also, like, I just want to be honest with my journey. I started YouTube really for the reason that I want to one day be able to look back on these years. This is maybe a little bit too deep, but when I was younger, I never thought that I would grow up to be this old. I had a lot of issues, alright? So it's a miracle that I'm still sitting here. I want to be able to remember this, and on those bad days I can just look back on how far I've gotten and just have memories. My brain is so full of things and always buzzing and thinking, and so this YouTube channel is really just a place for my thoughts and documenting my brain right now as it is, saying the stupid things that I say, and just allowing myself to grow and become better and grow as a human. And the things I say, you shouldn't take them too seriously because I'm trying not to censor myself too much, but it's just my thoughts right now, and I want to be honest and transparent and not censor myself like I always do. So that is kind of what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel. Just to chat, just to remember for myself, first and foremost, but also to help people and show people that even if you're poor, even if you're a student that has no time, and even if you are really sad sometimes for no particular reason, you can still do this, and you can still write a book, and you can still publish it even if you have no money to do it. There is always a way if you have a strong will to do something, and that is something that I want to show. I don't think that I'll ever be rich and famous, but I know that one day I will be fortunate enough to actually make a living by writing and doing the things I want to do. And so one day when I am there, having worked hard, I want to be able to look back on these days and be like, yeah, I did it. And I want to show people that, hey, I did it. Look, I was just a silly 20-year-old girl in her bedroom rambling. But I did it. I was able to get past all my struggles and learn and grow and do everything that I wanted just because I wanted to. That was a very long, deep ramble, but that's the kind of content you can expect from me. Rambles. Lots of rambles. Question number 8. When did you start writing? I started writing when I was, as soon as I could hold a pen, really. When I was 7 years old, we moved from Finland to Sweden, and so I had to learn a completely new language, and in order to learn Swedish that fast, I had to write a lot. So I wrote stories. I wrote a bunch of stories, and I would read them to my family and to my cousins, and oh wow, they were so embarrassing because they were like, I don't even want to tell you. I really liked dogs and wolves, so they were basically wolf romance books. The oldest story I still own that I wrote was called, it was in Swedish, but it was roughly translated into English. It was called Lonely Wolf is in Love and Gets Married, or something like that. And it was about a wolf who lived in the forest and was very lonely, and one day he got married and had kids. It just kept going on and on and on. And people died and new people were born. It was a family epic. And it's kind of funny because my novel right now is also kind of a family epic, so who could have guessed? But luckily no wolves. It was so weird. This is a different wolf because... Grandma! You're alive, Grandma! Don't you just love IKEA? IKEA is just, it's brilliant. Alright, Grandma, you're gonna have to go back to sleep now, because I need to continue this video. Let's continue. Question number 9. What was the first story you ever wrote? Well, I just told you. The Lonely Wolf Who Was in Love and Got Married. Question number 10. What authors have inspired your writing the most? I don't know. I get bits and pieces of inspiration from every book and every story ever in my life, so I really can't remember. So this is a question that is very hard for me to answer. But I am inspired by everything. I don't even think that I'm that inspired by authors. Authors don't really inspire me. It's more like nature, movies, music, that kind of stuff that inspire me. Question number 11. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you can find the time? I do both. I schedule and I also... My roommate came home. But let's continue. I do schedule my writing sessions, but I also just do it whenever I've got time, really. I try to write as much as I can whenever I can. Question number 12. Do you write on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? And where do you write in general? I write by computer. I would love to have a typewriter. That would be so cool. But I can't afford one because I'm poor. In case I didn't already say it like 15 billion times in this video. When I was younger, I would write everything out by hand. Then my wrist got like real painful. I really do love writing out things by hand, and I have a bunch of notebooks and journals that I write in, but I can't write my stories because I can't write with my hand as fast as I think, and so it would really just be horrible for my wrist. I still have this lump though. From all those years of handwriting a lot, I got like a writer's callus. Those were great times though. And where do I write in general? I write here. I write either on my bed, my laptop is on my bed right now, so you are on my bed right now, or at my desk. It is this desk right here. I would really love to be a kind of a person who could write outside or in libraries, but I just can't focus when there are other people around because I need to be making my weird faces. I need to be making my weird concentrated faces and showing emotion and sometimes crying and laughing out loud for 5 minutes straight because that line was so funny, and then 2 minutes later I erase it because it doesn't fit. That's sad, and then I cry. So a lot of emotions. But yeah, this is my great empire of creativity and writingness. Question number 13. What are you most looking forward to now that you are a part of Authortube? Community. I know that I have a great community on Instagram already, but YouTube right now is just me screaming into a void. So I would really love to have a community and find people whose videos I can comment on who actually reply, because most people don't, and I feel frustrated because on Instagram usually at least I get a like and I get notified, and I'm just like, oh, I feel so important now. Social media is so weird. Who would have thought 20 years ago that people would get like a kick out of heart? We're strange people. But I really love people and interacting with people. The community aspect is like my favorite part. And also learning from each other. It's like getting connections, you know. Being best friends forever. Please be my friends. But yeah, that was the Author Newbie tag, and I have been filming for 30 minutes. But I hope that you somehow like this. Maybe a little bit. Like this little. Just please like me, just a teeny tiny. Just like me, okay? Click like. Right, no wait. Right here. I'll see you soon. Bye! Subscribe to M's channel. She is really great. He's gonna eat you if you don't subscribe. Just look at grandma. Look what happens to little grandmas who don't subscribe. But I didn't subscribe! No, you didn't. You little liar. Get in there!